So thank you very much. Once again, I want to appreciate each and every one of you for making up time to be part of this webinar today. So thank you very much. Once again, I want to appreciate each and every one of you for making up time to be part of this webinar today. Doctor, can you confirm if you can hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, you're able to hear me now?
As you say now, this driver says, as you say now, this driver says, as you say now, this driver says,
Okay, so let's kindly do a reminder. Let's drop a reminder in all of our social media handles for AMHROA and other personal social media handles. Let's do a reminder and get our colleagues to join us back. We will be starting in the next 3 minutes. We will commence this very important webinar in the next 3 minutes. Thank you very much for joining. You can help us introduce yourself in the chat box. Drop your name, your email, your organization, the country you're joining us from. You can help us introduce yourself in the chat box. Drop your name. Please let's keep the introduction coming. Just help us with your name, your organization, your country. We would like to meet you. Please, let's keep the introduction coming in the chat box. You can also drop your expectation from this very important webinar. We'll be very happy to read some of those expectations and see how they are going to be met in this very important roundtable meeting, where we will be discussing access to services in Africa particularly, and we will be again narrowing it to deinstitutionalization, how this can happen and how this can improve the quality of mental health of Africans, right? So do well to drop your expectations, do well to drop your introductions. Thank you very much Thank you very much. I see they are already rolling in. Thank you very much, our distinguished Secretary General, Alaji from Gambia. Thank you. I also see Makal. Thank you very much, a human resource manager. You can tell us your country, where you're joining from. We will appreciate. All right, let's keep rolling in the introductions. We will be commencing any moment from now. Let's keep rolling in the introductions, please.
Good morning, Zion. How are you?
Good morning, my distinguished SecGen.
Yeah.
I hope your community, they are
yeah, I spoke with one of the panels, Commissioner. I just dropped a message for him.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I didn't finish reading through Marcello's introduction.
Yeah.
He is joining us
from Lesotho, yeah.
Yes, amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's not forget to do a reminder for all our other colleagues on all the different platforms available for AMHROA. We will be taking off very soon, very soon. I want to thank all of you for making our time to join and joining right on time. So amazing. Thank you, Chamo. Thank you so much for joining us. So let me take this call from the senator. Just a minute. Okay, thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We will be commencing this meeting immediately, and we will be having the distinguished senator, the chairman Senate Committee for Health, the former Deputy Governor of Rivers State. She will be joining us for the keynote address. So we will be commencing any moment from now. May I please request that you all turn on your cameras. We want to take the national anthem. I will be projecting the national anthem now for AMHROA. We will quickly take that and officially kickstart our webinar marking the World Mental Health Day 2025. So please, if you can already see the anthem on the screen, please, in the next 30 seconds, we will commence reciting the AMHROA's anthem. Can anybody confirm to me that you can see it? Can you confirm to me, please? Thank you,
Yes,
doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, please take up. Please help me. You can help project your camera. let's just see you. Let's take this anthem together, please. In honor of the distinguished, amazing Africans from across the globe, whether in Africa or in diaspora. Please, let's recite this anthem together as we'll commence officially this webinar.
Flowing in their circle.
1, 2, 1, 2, go. In part of Africa, a vision takes flight. Transformative reforms, a beacon of light. A chorus of voices, a network of hands. Breaking the stigma, healing the soul. From the deserts to the seas, a promise profound for mental wellness, our common ground. Please, let's unmute our mics and let's recite this together, please. We're on the chorus now. Of transformation, echoes of one, African spirit rising,
hand
funding
integration, research, healthy protective African tide. AMHROA, the anthem we sing, a vision
realized
on hope's wings, transformative spirit, ever in the heart of Africa, where we all belong.
Breaking down barriers,
Building bridges, wide unity,
side
side by side, increase funding flows, a lifeline strong,
for the
silent voices, sing along. Beyond the challenges, find our way, nurturing compassion,
spreading dismay. In the
rhythm of progress, we take our stride. Every soul needs to confide.
to confide. Lastly, 3.
Integration like rivers that meet, minds united, no challenge too great. Research blooms,
Garden of insight,
a garden of insight, nurturing wellness, morning till night. In the pursuit, the tapestry of progress, stories unfold, productive lives, future untold. African descent, resilience, a symphony of reform, all belong.
Thank you. I want to really celebrate each and every one of you for participating in that AMHROA's anthem. Thank you, and thank you sincerely. May I, at this point, warmly welcome each and every one of you for making out time to be part of this AMHROA's World Mental Health webinar, where we are looking at access to services in Africa. And particularly in this webinar, we're going to be looking at different dimensions of access to services. And we will be looking at deinstitutionalization, how deinstitutionalization and optimal mental health reforms, these two things, how they can truly impact on the well-being of Africans. Now, this is my welcome address. I want to warmly have you know that you are appreciated. Every one of you sharing your moment on this webinar in honor of the Africans' mental well-being, in honor of transforming the mental health systems in Africa, I want to tell you that you are highly appreciated. Without fail, I want to mention here that with your support and with your kind of commitment, there is no doubt that in no distant time, mental health and the priority it requires to becoming the home base for health programming for all Africans, enhancing their well-being, enhancing their quality of life, will become a reality. I want to use this opportunity to have you know two things. AMHROA as a network is driving holistic, right-based approach to transforming the mental health systems in Africa. We at AMHROA, we strongly believe that with the transformation of reforms in terms of legislations, in terms of policies, in terms of frameworks, will help us as a continent. Will help us as a continent and the quality of optimal productivity and well-being will never be in view. The kind of in the continent of Africa where the people are not mentally healthy. And that is why in AMHROA, we remain committed to driving advocacy to the government, to the private sector, and also to our fellow civil society organizations, to see the need to ensure that there is a priority given to reforming mental health systems. And that begins with having standard global mental health legislations. That are budgeted, that can help drive the required for mental health. And objectives are resident on 5 legs. Number one is that when we talk about transformation of mental health system, we are speaking to the fact that where there are policies and pieces of legislations that are up to date, not antiquated policies, not antiquated legislations like we have in my beloved country, Sierra Leone, or that we have in some of the African countries. No, we want to continue to speak until the government of such nations repeal those laws and take out all of those lacunas that are hindering people from accessing quality of mental health care. We want to ensure that the likes of criminalization of suicide or attempted suicide, they are repealed and taken out from the penal codes, where an average African will be very comfortable to speak without fear of stigma or arrest. Mental health conditions, where the doors and stations and of hospitals and of facilities will be open to welcoming people and to also supporting people in those institutions for a better mental well-being. May I say here, please, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, 5 things that we so desire. A strategic objective for us in AMHROA is that there should be a repeal of any antiquated or old archaic law or policy or legislation in the continent of Africa. Number 2, we want to ensure that there is a revamp in the budgetary allocation for mental health activities in Africa. Through all of our Federal Ministry of Health and through all of our ministers that are always attending the likes of UNGA, the likes of World Health Assemblies, let there be an implementation of a sincere budgetary allocation for mental health at the national level and regionally. Number three, we want to ensure that there is proper deinstitutionalization. The institutions are so congested, the institutions are not friendly. Let's again take the care for mental health to the community. Number three, we want to ensure that there is quality local data for mental health in Africa. We do not want to trivialize the issue of research in Africa. We do not want to be taking data from the Western or from the South Poles or from the North Poles that are not directly interpreting what is the reality of mental health in our continent. We want to ensure that our government and the international partners operating in Africa are committed to driving local data research work in Africa. This will help us to come up with data that will be able to guide the holistic care that people should assess. This will help us to be able to guide and come up with holistic programs that will be very fitting to the African context, based on our culture, based on our religion, based on our backgrounds. The last thing again that we so desire to see happen as a strategic objective for us in Africa is to ensure that there is no one African in diaspora through the mission houses in all the foreign countries suffer any form of mental health condition without attention based on any form of migration or transit issues. We so desire that this will be our strategic objectives, and we are working very hard with our partners and with our members to ensure that through the office of the Vice President AMHROA in diaspora, we are also able to attend to Africans in diaspora, especially those that will come down with mental health condition needs because of their migration or transit or movement for education or for any purpose at all. I want to thank you very much for making our time to join this webinar today. I want to appreciate each and every one of you, and I so wish you a very, very warm deliberation. We will be having our most distinguished senator join us any moment from now. After her goodwill, after her keynote address, we will be having also 3 other presenters that will be speaking to us on very key issues. But immediately after Her Excellency, the Senate Committee Chairman for Health, 10th Assembly's presentation, we will be questions from the audience. We'll take questions for her because she will need to leave for another very important meeting. So we'll quickly take 1 or 2 questions and comments before we now quickly move into the next line of the program. So on this note, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you sincerely. And I want to thank you for believing in the prioritization and the transformation of mental health systems in Africa. God bless you all. So why we wait to receive Her Excellency, I see that we already have our speakers. So I'm just wondering, but with the permission of our executives and the CLOs for this event, can we welcome Dr. Orise me.
Hello, everyone.
Forgive me. I know I'm just struggling. I'm trying to get that correctly. Forgive me.
You did well. You did well. So,
oh, thank you. Thank you. So I think we can welcome you for your presentation. But I want to apologize ahead that while you are presenting, please should Her Excellency program, and then she's on her way to another event, so we might just receive her and then you continue, please, please, please. All right. So on this note now, I want to warmly welcome our first speaker while we await our keynote address from Her Excellency Senator Dr. So please, you're highly welcome, man. You have the floor, Dr. Oris. Have mercy. So let me project your slide. Are you okay? Your mic is still muted.
Yes, I'm fine. So I'm just waiting for you to set up the slides.
Okay. It's coming up now. All right.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are calling in from. My name is Dr. Orishawaimi Eriko Ariguli, but I am popularly called Dr. Williams, so that might be very easy. So Williams is a good short one for everyone. And it's an honor to be here to talk to amazing people from across the world. And so I'll be talking about the impact of solution to antiquate mental health laws and policies on access to quality mental health service. It seems very long, but what we are just talking about is access to service. How do we make sure that we have access to mental health services like our facilitator had told us? Next slide, please. So when it comes to access, we'll be looking at the mental health laws that we have, the policies, and how somehow they might still be limiting the access to mental health services in Africa. And we'll just look at what can we do in terms of these issues that we are facing. So mental health, no matter how we say it, is a cornerstone for humans. It's one of the things that keeps us going. It is important to our well-being. Yes, we talk about physical health, we talk about finance, we talk about spiritual. We have to also talk about mental health. And as of today, we have about 10 countries who have dedicated mental health budgets, but the spending is very low. So it is not a priority in many countries. And also, we have 37 million adolescents, so 10 years to 19 years, who are living with a mental health disorder in Africa. That's a huge number and it keeps growing. And also, imagine us who are parents or aunties or uncles. One, so if you see four children, one of them have a parent that is living with a mental health condition in Africa, which is a very huge number. So it is very important for us to talk about access. Next slide. Next slide, please. So, before we got to this whole thing of mental health, we all know that it used to be a taboo topic. Nobody talks about mental health. In fact, there was no word maybe in the last 10, 15 years on mental health. Everybody hush hush. That's because we inherited some laws that they weren't called mental health, they were called lunacy acts, and we collected it from the colonial era, and many Africans late into the early 90s, that was what they were using. So you start hearing the word, the person is insane, the person is mad, the person is a lunatic, especially places like Ghana, Nigeria, and so on. So it's just recently, just quite recently, very early, that we are now changing that. The photo I put there is just to show you that mental health, anything about mental health is criminalized. It's still like a thing that we still criminalize people for. And instead of going to rehabs or giving them services, we put them in prison, we chain them and all of that. In Nigeria, just our late President Muhammad Buhari signed the first mental health bill, and we have the National Mental Health Act just in 2021. So it's still very early days. Kenya has progressed a bit than us, so we are we are getting there slowly and slowly. Now we also have limited, if we can go to slide 4, please. We have limited legal protection. So we don't have a lot of legal, the law is not really protecting us. It's just gradually as we are getting on that WHO is, yes, we are tilting to the WHO recommendation. We are thinking about, okay, mental health can actually result in disability in people. So some of these policies, the acts, the bills that we have across some countries across Africa, they are still lacking in human rights protection. We still have abuses to those people who have mental health issues. There's still high stigma. The community health or community-based framework is still lacking. We have not been able to get it properly, and we are still having challenges. The only country I think is doing pretty well with their integration is Ethiopia, which is trying to integrate mental health into primary health care. The next slide, we'll be talking about the impact of these policies. So the next slide, sorry, the impact of these policies. And one of the impacts of these policies, this whole thing whereby we haven't really moved from the person is a lunatic, the person is insane. The next slide is barriers to access. So there is still criminalization, there is still stigma. The old laws we've not educated people about the new bills. This is the new thing that is happening. We can talk about mental health. So we need to start reframing the conversation to say, oh, mental health, there are opportunities to help people get out of this situation. You know, you don't just chain them, leave them walking around the streets and all, but don't say mental illness is dangerous or incurable. We now need to start reframing that, because without that, we will still have this barrier. There's still institutional bias, no, and a large number of people still try to look for psychiatric hospitals wherever they can. So there's limited access. So we only think, oh, in Nigeria, we get to have this thing where we say Yaba left. It's just a neuropsychiatric center in Lagos, and everybody thinks that's the only place you can go to. So there's still limitation. And also we have human rights and abuses. We still have seclusion, institutionalization, where people are sectioned and secluded away from society just because they have mental health issues. The next slide, please. The next thing is service inequality. I am sure we are not all equal. We all have differences. We have privileges. We also have that inequality. And in rural areas, there's the conversation of mental health. It's almost like it's non-existent. They are largely excluded. Even in urban areas, from your own experiences and your conversations, you would also know that many people do not have access to services. And for a place like Nigeria, where we have over 200 million people, we have only 250 practicing psychiatrists. It's also a challenge because we have the Japa syndrome, where um, people are leaving for better pastures or greener pastures. So the workforce is getting lower and lower. We also have financial barriers. Like I said in the beginning, we don't have a lot of funding. Not a lot of countries are putting in mental health in their budget. Even our health budget in Nigeria is still very low. The next slide, please. The next thing we are going to talk about is the socio-economic impact. And for women who are mostly affected, they are affected 1.5 times more than men. Women experience depression, but again, because you're thinking about your source of living and all of that, you tend to use the phrase, it is well, you have to push, but there's a lot of how mental health affects our social and economic issues. Again, we lose globally $6 trillion. That's the estimated amount we are going to lose for mental health conditions. So it's going to cost the economy that. So imagine how much it will cost your country. Imagine how it will cost your local government when you realize that people are not productive as a result of mental health. And then with mental health, a lot of people will not be productive. There's unemployment and poverty continues. So next slide, please. What do we do? What can we do? There's going to be a shift towards reform, and that's why we are all here. It means that let us move from hospital to community. There's a place for hospital, but there's a place for community, and there needs to be reform for social inclusion. The next slide, please. We are doing well as Africans, but we need to do more. You and I know that we all need to do more. We have Ghana who is working towards who has started their mental health act. They are talking about human rights and community care. So they are shifting away from the hospitals to see what they can do. We have Kenya. We have Kenya, who is also talking about human rights approach, so that we do not abuse or take advantage of human rights. We also have South Africa's Mental Health Care Act that is promoting patient autonomy and integration into general. So we are shifting, we are gradually, but we still need more. We still need more advocacy and all. And the next slide is going to talk about the institutionalization in practice. So we need to shift away from where it's just the four walls of the hospital and it's just not, everybody is just thinking, oh, it's only in the hospital that they would attend to people with mental health issues. Like I said in the beginning, Ethiopia is doing well with their primary healthcare integration, where they are training nurses and then general practitioners to manage mental health issues. So many people, even at the ground level, at the local primary health center level, they need to be aware. I love, love, love. I follow the Zimbabwe friendship bench. It was done by a man. He started the grandmas where they sit down and you just have conversation in that friendship bench. Even as in the UK, some schools have friendship bench where you talk and provide care therapy in local settings. It's brilliant. It's very successful. Kudos to the Zimbabweans. And then Nigeria is trying to roll out using the WHO's mental health integration care at the primary level. Still a baby, but we are progressing and we want to progress more and more. Next slide, please. And again for us is how do we do this reform? So all the policies, what the government is saying, we need to start thinking about how we can align with the human rights framework, especially with the UN, how we can start allocating budgets to ensure that mental health programs are gotten in. No, this is not the slide. Let's go forward. This how do we get in more budget? Let's allocate more budget. People should fund it, and we should include service users. We should include caregivers in this policy design. We tend to do a top to bottom approach, but we need a an all-round holistic approach. And finally, I want to say that the call to action I will give for every one of us, whether we are in the CSOs, the non-for-profit, the charities, the government, the scientists, the doctors, wherever we are, first of all, we need to upgrade, update, or leave that lunacy act, all the colonial era stuff. Let's not make it a taboo topic. Let's start talking about it. Let's also see how we can start reallocating our funds. It's not only larger organizations that need funds, small organizations, they really do need funds. And then we need to train healthcare workers. I work in Nigeria at the local primary health level. I work with health centers with my NGO, and you hear nurses, matrons. We don't mental health when women are delivering. It's a different ball game entirely when they are screaming and shouting at them. Mental health post-delivery, mental health in young people. So we need to train our healthcare workers to promote, mental health education, literacy. And for us who have NGOs, SDG 17, we need to come together. We need to advocate. We need to raise awareness so that we can reduce the stigma. And again, I love that we have AMHROA because that's where monitoring and accountability will come in. These laws that they have put in, how do we implement them? How do we hold the government responsible? How do we ensure that everything? So we are bodies like this that are fighting and working together. So that's just my presentation for today, and I want to say thank you.
Thank you very much for that amazing presentation. We're most grateful, Doctor, that you were able to join and give this amazing deliverable presentation. We won't be able to take your questions for you now because our amazing, very distinguished Grand Patron, a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and also she is the Senate Committee Chair for Health, the former Deputy Governor of Rivers State. I won't be able to read out all the resume. She's just an amazing person. She's a mother. She's just an amazing God lover, and we are. For want of word, I would just want to say we are privileged to have her as our grand patron. We are really, really privileged. I want to, at this moment, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our grand patron, distinguished Senator Dr. Harry. Please, you have the floor, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It is with deep honor and commitment that I welcome you all to this landmark World Mental Health Day celebration organized by the Association of Mental Health Reform Organizations in Africa, AMHROA network. Today we unite under a theme that captures one of the most urgent imperatives in our continent's public health and human rights landscape. That is access to services, deinstitutionalization and reforms, and care in Africa. Across Africa, millions of people continue to live with untreated or poorly managed mental health conditions, not because of a lack of will, but often due to systemic barriers, weak policy frameworks, insufficient investment, stigma, and a legacy of institutionalized care models. For decades, mental health services in many of our countries were built around institutions, large psychiatric hospitals, isolated from communities, where individuals were often left without dignity, opportunity, or reintegration pathways. But we are now at a turning point. Because this policy trend and policy trend it is a moral and developmental necessity. It is a moral and developmental necessity. It means we're bringing mental health care back to the people, into communities, workplaces, schools, and homes, and ensuring that every person has the right to recover, to work, to love, and to live meaningfully. I therefore commend the network, the Association of Mental Health Reforms Organization in Africa network, for being a leading coalition of African reform organizations committed to driving this change. Now, through coordinated advocacy, training, policy dialogue, and partnerships, our network has been able to promote the domestication and implementation of national health mental health acts. For instance, in Nigeria, in Kenya, in Ghana, and in Zambia. And has been the voice of reform, has been the bridge between systems, and has been the hope for inclusion. And today, it is about opening up our communities, building community health, mental health centers, where care is integrated into the primary healthcare system. It's about expanding psychosocial support networks, including peer support, recovery programs, and family-based interventions. It's about ensuring human rights protection, freedom from inhumane and degrading treatment, and equal access to employment, education, and housing. And it's about integrating mental health into disaster response, workplace safety, and national productivity strategies. We must also confront the social determinants of mental health. It's very important. We must confront these social determinants because if we do not confront them, we'll just be just going about the bush, more or less. We have to confront these issues of poverty, unemployment, violence, and exclusion, because no reform is sustainable if people continue to live under chronic social and economic distress. I therefore wish to, as we commemorate this World Mental Health Day 2025, I wish to call upon national governments to prioritize mental health reforms as a matter of national security and human capital development. The Mental Health Act must move from paper to practice. It must move from guidelines, implementation guidelines. It must move to the implementation of budgetary provisions, and it must move to public accountability. I wish to call on regional bodies, the African Union, ECOWAS, SADC, to integrate mental health into continental development blueprints. And to call on, of course, our private sector and donor agencies to invest in mental health infrastructure, digital innovation, and workforce development. The oil, gas, banking, and education sectors must embed psychological safety into their operations. And I also wish to call upon the civil society and faith-based organizations to sustain awareness, to fight stigma, and ensure that no one is left behind, especially people with lived experience and their families. And also we need the academia to be involved in research. We need to produce African-led evidence to guide reform and influence global policy. I wish to say that we will want to imagine an Africa where every primary healthcare center offers basic mental health services, where every school integrates mental health literacy into its curriculum, and every workplace protects psychological safety. And every government sees mental health not as an expense, but as an investment in national development. This is not a distant dream. It is achievable. And our network is leading the way already. As your grand patron and as a fellow reform advocate, I reaffirm my unwavering commitment to the mission of the Association of Mental Health Reform Organizations in Africa network. I wish to say that together we must sustain this momentum through partnerships, policy action, and community empowerment. Let this day mark not just a celebration, but a renewal of our shared promise, our promise to transform Africa's mental health systems, restore dignity, and build a continent where no mind is left behind. Thank you all, and may God bless Africa.
Amazing, 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 amazing. Thank you very much, Mommy. We are truly grateful. We are truly, sincerely grateful. I personally, on behalf of the team, we have been able to really thank you enough, but we want to reassure you that your support is immensely boosting our commitments to do more across Africa. Thank you very much, Ma, Your Excellency, for your time. we're really grateful. I
Thank you.
don't know, Mommy, I don't know if we can just take a group picture with you, please. I know you might not, there might not be time to take questions.
Okay.
We'll just ask for 1 or 2 questions. I can forward it to you, and then maybe we can get responses to that. But I know you need to rush for another meeting. We are really grateful. Please, let's turn on our cameras. Let's have the opportunity of taking a picture with our distinguished grand patron, mother, a true mother indeed to all Nigerians. She leads the aim of affair for health in the country. Thank you very much. Okay, Mommy, your camera is inverted. I'm trying to see.
Okay. Sorry.
Just a minute, let me see.
Okay.
I'm looking for Mommy now. Just a minute, please, guys.
Okay. Picture is not coming up.
I think it's the device she's using. If she could turn it the other way around, upside down, then it will come up.
Okay.
It's just turn the device the other way.
Okay. I want distinguish to just a minute, please. Be from my...
Oh, sure. Sorry, it's not coming up.
Sure.
Rotates. It says rotates now.
It's not sure. It's blue.
It's showing now. There's something showing just. It's not coming up. Sorry. It's a pity, but it's not coming up.
There, Jesus
Oh
Christ.
dear.
Okay, Mommy, let me make you the speaker. Let me just view it from another. Okay, let's see if this can help. Oh, it's not still. Oh, it's not coming up. I was just trying to check from my end here if it could be from. Oh my God. Okay.
I think her video is turned off. If she could switch on her video, if she's not using a laptop, if it is just a handheld device, she just turn it upside down, because currently it is inverted. So if you just turn it to the other side, it may just show her in an upright.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dr. King. Jesus Christ.
Okay, well, maybe what I'll do is when I step back into the office, I'll see whether I can take a picture and send to you.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually in the car because I was coming from one meeting going into another. But let me.
Yes.
I'll step into the office and see whether I can take a picture. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, let's appreciate our distinguished Grand Patron, Her Excellency. Please, let's release some emojis. Thank you so very much, Your Excellency. We are truly grateful. We're truly grateful. And we will end the conversation. Once the webinar is over, we will share the report. But I just want to have you know that, Your Excellency, we have on this call members from Cameroon, members from Liberia, members from Ghana, members from Ethiopia, members from quite a lot of our member states from across Africa. We are really grateful, man. Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Have a very lovely, lovely day, man. Today also, thank you. So we will quickly take some questions from Her Excellency's presentation. If you have questions or comment, or you have questions from our first presenter, we will take questions. But just before then, I want to use this opportunity to wish all our members from Uganda and also the good people of Uganda happy Independence Day. We want to identify in this their Independence Day to say that we wish them a very progressive and a very, very productive year ahead of them. Thank you very much. So let's open up the conversation for comments and questions. Right, Dr. King. Go ahead, sir.
All right, thank you so much. My name is Reverend Dr. Ronald King. I'm the president of the Association of Christian Counselors of Nigeria. We are neck deep into mental health. Myself, I did my postgraduate studies at Liberty University in the US, and my major is in crisis response and trauma. And I'm also a mental health coach, certified. In the Association of Christian Counselors of Nigeria, of course, you know, what we call counseling in this part of the world is actually crisis response, you know, because ordinarily people will not seek counsel because of cultural limitations that tells you don't wash your dirty linens in the public. So, but when the linen becomes unwashable with any known washing detergent, then you now make it public by going to somebody. That was what I meant by saying that counseling in this part of the world is largely crisis response and not just counseling as we call it. And that borders on mental health. Now, I wanted to truly ask our distinguished senator about the aspects of funding, because we know that funding is a function of sometimes when we talk about institutional governmental funding, is a response to House deliberations. And as a senator, I wanted to ask what effort is also being made currently to get the annual budget reflect aspects that should fund mental health. And secondly, what criteria they currently have to really assess organizations that are truly into mental health practice. You know, because I know it is in the developmental stages. I mean, our Mental Health Act was just signed about, is it 2 or 3 years ago? You know, after almost 60 years of the Lunatic Act, you know, that pervaded the space in Nigeria. So it is important that maybe you help us pass this message across to her, that we are also, to an extent, curious to finding out what is being done by the House to assist, you know, in getting this needed funding available. And again, what mechanisms are in place that could assist you and I, you know, if we go, then we should then be able to assess, you know, some level of funding. my question was actually for this distinguished senator. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. King, for that question about what the National Assembly is doing in terms of funding for mental health. I know that in one of my recent papers, I did mention how the lack of sufficient implementation of the National Mental Health Act is a big problem for us, and especially in terms of the budgetary allocation. The act, mandated that there should be a creation of mental health funds after the mental health department is being created at the Federal Ministry of Health. But all of that, we haven't seen it yet. But I'm sure that as we keep pushing and pressing, we will be seeing the needful being done. And it will, like I always said, the beginning of a good mental health for us in this country, for an average Nigerian or an average African, is where our government is committed to increasing the budgetary allocation for mental health, and then driving the integration, either to primary healthcare centers, vis-a-vis the universal health coverage integration. But I'm sure, I don't know if distinguished Senator Momi, Your Excellency, would you want to give maybe one comment on this before we take the picture? I see that we have you back, and we're really grateful. We're really grateful. I know this must have been a huge sacrifice. We are really
okay. Sorry,
really
sir. I'm
grateful.
trying to connect for her, so she's not on now. I'm trying to connect for her. I'll let you know when she's up.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so I will come back to the issue of mental health budgetary allocation for the people of Africans. We'll come back to that. Is there any other question, any other comment or questions from Her Excellency's presentation, or from the first presentation of deinstitutionalization by Dr.
Yes, Zion.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so I'm speaking from Liberia. I'm Aaron F. Deba, and I want to say thanks to the speakers for the wonderful presentations. My attention is drawn to the issue of research and data collection. What can AMHROA do as an initiative ensuring that we really come out with related data for Africa? Because if people are going to be convinced about the extent to which we are affected by mental health issues, I think we need more data to prove. What can we do? What sort of initiative can we undertake that will strengthen our own capacity as an advocacy team or as a group? Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mr. Aaron from Liberia, for that question. Data, there's always a data gap in terms of what is actually the level of research around mental health or its other related conditions in Africa. And this usually should be what will be guiding the commitment of the government, data, be guiding them on some of the decisions that will be taken. But unfortunately, the data are not available. We're always making references to the Western communities, and I quite agree with you. That's a problem. And that's why if you look at our strategic objectives, it's one of the major things that we want to drive. We want to drive the African government and her other health agencies regionally to commit to CSOs, to NGOs across the continent to take up mental health research so that we can generate data to help them take up some right-based decisions for the mental well-being of Nigerians and Africans. I thank you very much for that question. I'm sure we will get one or two responses from Her Excellencies in due time. Are there any other questions? And that also, can support the need, to drive for the deinstitutionalization from the first presentation we have received earlier. So it's all sinking. Thank you very much for that question. We can take one or two more questions or comments. One or two more questions or comments. One or two more questions. I see some of our country leads. I can see for Liberia, I can see for Mali, I can see for Malawi, I can see for Ghana, Gambia. Please, our country representatives, you have maybe some comments, especially as it relates to not just specifically for mental health, but like for drugs, for suicide, quite saddening. Some of the African countries are still criminalizing attempted suicide, including Nigeria. So what's your take? I mean, you can ask any of these questions or give us comments as to what is also obtainable in your own country. Let's see how we can have this conversation. Please do remember, we are looking at access to services. So if we have reforms, if you have policies, if you have laws that are not right-based driven, are not having human faces, there's also going to be an automatic deterrent to people wanting to accept or access mental health care. So we can also be looking at it from that perspective, how some of these antiquated laws, are lacunas to the to Africans being willing to assess or being willing to open up and receiving care across the continent. You can drop your comments or questions even in the chat box. I see we have a message from Eric from Liberia. How can we contextualize the DSM-5 and ICD-11 to fit our cultural context as Africans? Very important question. And this is now part of the things we're saying, in that it's always very difficult to get some of these things, in the context of our culture as Africans. Please, let's respond. They are open questions. You have comments or responses to all of these questions. We're happy to take it. Okay, yes, we are. We are ready to receive. We are ready to receive your Excellency, to maybe one or two feedbacks, and then also we can just take our group pictures. May I please request that we turn on our cameras as we receive Her Excellency for a group picture, and then maybe one or two comments with regards the issue of data and funding. Your Excellency, ma'am. Okay, let me unmute you. Your mic is muted, mommy. Yes. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So I'm ready for your picture.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so let's please turn on our cameras. Thank you very much, ma'am. We are really grateful for your patience with us and your amazing support.
Thank you.
Okay, let me take it on the general slide. Okay, yes. I hope everybody is captured. Yes. Oh, other people on the other slide. Just a minute. Okay. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Really grateful that you could give us this. We are really grateful.
Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it so much. I wish you all the
you.
best. Great
Thank you.
success.
Thank you very much, Mommy. We have just
Thank
two
you.
things. I don't know if you can just respond to it in 1 minute, just in 1 minute
Yep.
before we go. We had a question from Liberia talking about the issue of data. There's a huge debt of data as far as mental health is concerned in Africa. And another question again came up that there are some of the tools that are available for treatment and support that are not culturally in African's context, like the DSM-5 and the ICD-11. So we're asking, how can we encourage our data that can influence proper decision for our African leaders to be able to increase access to quality mental health care in Africa? And then there's also another question earlier directed to you in terms of funding. What is the government or how can the government increase the budgetary allocation for mental health? I know that, yes, the implementation of the National Mental Health Act is not yet there, and hence there's no creation of the Department for Mental Health at the Ministry of Health, and hence the Mental Health Fund that the Act has directed should be created is not created. So, but we just want to get a little of your responses in terms of this issue of funding for mental health in Nigeria and in Africa, and also the issue of data that can help influence right decision for the African leaders in Africa. Thank you, man.
Thank you very
Your
much.
Excellency.
Very important questions. Now, data fragmentation is one of the problems that we have all across the continent, because there's weak health information systems and record digitization. And that is why in the legislative health unit, the one we are having, the platform we have with state houses of assembly and the National Assembly committees on health, we have a legislative health unit for which we are holding our 6th summit next month. One of the things that we are looking at seriously is digitization of data and how also to use digital economy to send very basic health informations to our people across the communities in rural areas and other places. So this is we need to have a consolidated background for health data. And we know that worldwide, people are using systems like AI. They're using digital systems. They're digitizing this information. For instance, of recent, I launched the platform with the Federal Ministry of Health and IHVN for neonatal and maternal health data. This is a tool that enables policymakers to just switch it on and be able to see real-time data on how bad or how much improved or not is neonatal deaths of children under 1 week old, and also maternal mortality deaths. So we need to be able to develop such systems to enable us get data for health, because right now there is no proper coordinated health, especially for mental health. Your mental health always seems to drag up behind, because people don't always think that it is as important as other parts of the health. And obviously we know that the mind is key to the attaining of anybody's destiny and development and human capital development. The development of the mind is very key. So this is one of the things we are going to, in our meeting that is coming up, what we are going to discuss at length is going to be about how we can digitize our health information, how we can get leverage on technology for health, especially for health data. Somebody is also asking how we can prevent JAPA syndrome to improve access to quality health, mental health. Well, the whole business about the JAPA syndrome is a question of giving people the enabling environment to work, to perform the skills they have learned in school, and to be able to use it and feel fulfilled with it. That's one of the issues. Of course, if you don't give them the enabling environment, if they don't have the right infrastructure, if they don't have the right equipment, if they don't have the right reward systems, these are the things that will fuel the Japa syndrome. But since we came in 2 years ago, we have tried to make sure that budgetary provisions are available to improve infrastructure all across the public health systems, to provide the needed equipment, to provide the enabling environment, and also to engage the Ministry of Health and the Office of the Head of Service on the reward system, so that our doctors, our nurses, our mental health workers, our laboratory scientists, our pharmacists, and so on, can actually enjoy a good reward system that will motivate them and make them to work effectively. And so we are trying to enhance health budgeting and also strengthen oversight, not just in not only mental health, of course, but across the whole health system. Now, in the matter of the Mental Health Act, yes, this has been brought to me even when I went on my oversight to AMHROA Psychiatric Hospital, and at our last budget meeting, the MD there mentioned about the issue of having a separate department of mental health. And now, what I'm told is that mental health services comes under, there's a directorate already under which mental health comes. And the issue of having a separate one, I don't think that will in any way affect the budgetary provision. For instance, the neuropsychiatric hospitals across the country, their budgets, the budgets that were made available for them in the last 2 years has been far greater than what they have had in the last before then. They too can add, they can assent to this, that their budgetary provision has increased quite a bit, so that they can improve their overall infrastructure in their hospitals, make the place look attractive, and provide the equipment they need, like you're talking about DSN and all those things. These are things which they can do, the heads of those psychiatric hospitals and the heads of the various community mental health services and their outreaches. So they have they have the provisions to do that. Of course, again, budgetary provision and the release of funds is another issue. You know, the last 1 year, even though we've made the budget, but the release has not always been the way we expected it to be. But we have the assurance of the Ministry of Finance that going forward, this will get a lot better now, so that by the time we start going for our next oversights, we'll be able to see, in actual fact, what the hospitals, the health centers, the outreaches have been able to do with the funds that were provided for them to provide effective mental health services for our communities. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you so much for those very amazing responses to all the questions. Can we please again appreciate our distinguished Grand Patron for her availability and also share of time, wealth, knowledge, experience. Thank you very much, ma'am. We are indeed truly grateful. And we hope to share the feedback and hold a report from this meeting, and also our next conference, which will be taking place either in Zambia or in Liberia next year, 2026. We will share all the details ahead of time. This year we had the conference in Ghana, in Cape Coast. We'll share more details. We are really grateful, ma. We are truly, I wish I can express how delighted I am that you are able to create this time for us today, because I have an idea of how very full your plates are. I'm truly grateful. May God bless you. May God continue to grant you wisdom and help you fulfill all of your political ambitions in Nigeria and so across the nation as a seasoned diplomat. Thank you very much, man. Have a very lovely day. I would just
Okay.
want to wish to release you as we proceed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We're grateful.
Thank you.
We're grateful, man. We're grateful. Okay, so we will quickly take our last presentation for today from a very good friend, Dr. Alice, who has been doing a lot in the SDG arena. You will agree with me that SDG Goal 3 clearly speaks to mental health. And it's very important that we also look at it from the global SDG perspective, narrowing it down to some of the achievements and what is left, and how can we also, as a network, collaborate and drive this achievement. Because when Nigerians are mentally healthy, then we can clearly say that there is a good achievement proportion of the SDG Goal 3 in the holistic SDG Goal plans. Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for your time and your patience. Let's please welcome Dr. Alex for his presentation. Dr. Alex, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I say good afternoon from here. Can you hear me, sir?
Very loud and clear.
Oh, awesome. I must give it to you, sir. You look like Oluseyo Yebisi. I don't know if you know him.
I know him very well. Triple NG.
You look so much like with the cap and the amazing work that you're doing. Thank you so much. I want to appreciate the platform for having me. Yes, I did a presentation, but I might not be able to follow it. But when I looked at the agenda and I discovered just 8 minutes I was given, I said probably I would just have to speak from my heart than following the slides, looking at the time allocated to me. Yeah. I must also thank Mr. Emeka for bringing me on board and to share. I'm so passionate about the subject matter that is being discussed today because in my work around the CSO space for quite a while now, I've been able to have some level of encounters on the field and some experiences that I feel it's important that we begin to give deep attention to this subject matter. Mental health is the state of your mind, how you think, how you feel, how you behave, your daily life. And so it's something that I would say is a 360-degree focus for me. And I think we all need to give it the kind of attention that it deserves. And speaking from the angle of the CSOs in connection to the Sustainable Development Goals, like you mentioned, it's calling for a lot of attention because 2030 is just close by the UN 2030 agenda. It's a plan for sustainable development for everyone, and this is a plan that was adopted in 2015. And if you look at it, it's something that everyone is working towards achieving, because part of the principles of the UN, like I will just cite 2 of them. One of them has to do with leaving no one behind. It ensures that everybody benefits. Everybody, no matter your class, benefits, especially the most vulnerable people. Because a lot of time when we have interventions to carry out, we pay attention to places that are easy for us to access and playing down on the low income communities, the underserved communities, the slums. Only very few organizations and CSO want to take the job to that kind of community because of the some might say a lot of security risks, some might say safety and all of that, but they're also part of the community. They also need to be considered when you're talking about the mental health issues. And so that's why the UN places so much emphasis on leaving no one behind. And secondly, the UN also places so much emphasis on partnership, which will take me deeper into my presentation. Both local, global, every form of partnership cut across government sector, cut across private sector, cut across civil society. We need to begin to see ourselves as one body, as one team. And if you look at the 5 P's of the Sustainable Development Goals, It talks about people, it talks about planet, it talks about prosperity, it talks about peace. It also talks about partnership. You can turn to the next slide. So you can see that there are connections in all of this. And so in my focus, in my presentation, souls, and I understand that everyone, and the beautiful thing about the work we do is, if you're not careful, you that you are a CSO leader, you'll be the one that will be hit by the mental health issues.
Hi, Dr. Alex, can you hear me? See, we're losing your audio a little.
And then no one hear me.
Dr. Alex, can you hear me? Can anybody hear Dr. Alex? I think he's having issues with his network.
I think it is the network.
No, I think it's his network.
Hmm.
The network is terrible. Can I be heard now? Is it okay now?
Okay, yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, you can hear me now. Thank you so much. I will just run down because of time. Yes, the current slide on is the role of the public sector. Yes, one thing that stands out for me here is when it comes to the issue of policy, because if the right policy is not in place, I'm telling you, there's little or nothing we can do when it comes to mental health issues at the national level. Every country, I thank God I had our host talk about the rep of different African countries in this meeting. We tell you that to a large extent, there's a policy the government will bring on board today that will encourage the work we do around the mental health space. And there's also a policy that will come up today that will shut down everything we do around the mental health space. Let me give, for example, now, recently in Lagos, I think it was this year in Lagos State, they came up with a policy that turns down on the use of single-use plastics. And some of these single-use plastics, sometimes we are affected. I know a lot of people that run into terrible health issues, mental issues as a result of that policy, because a lot of them have invested so much in that business, and only for them to wake up to the realization that they can no longer float with that kind of business. And so a lot of them were hospitalized because some had to take loan to establish, and the next moment you can't do all of that. So I think policy, to a large extent, is one part the government, the public sector can come in when it comes to the issue of dealing with mental health issues. The issue of resource mobilization, that's another part that is also very, very key. Mobilizing the required resources that is available for development, because there are little or nothing we that operate in the CSO space can provide when it comes to funding. And so the public, the government that deals with the public, they have a lot of resources that they can provide to help take care of these issues. Talk about service delivery. Service delivery is also another key part when it comes to achieving the mental issue. Providing access to clean water, very, very key. There's little or nothing we can do. I was in a meeting the other day and we were talking about it's less than, I'll take Lagos State as a case study. Less than 20% of the people have access to quality potable water as a whole state. And that's a major issue. And that's where they begin to look at partnership with the World Bank and other water aid to see how they can make all of these things available. Now, the shared responsibility there is everybody have a part to play when it comes to these issues. The private sector is a major player. And that's why over time, some civil society organizations have engaged the private sector when it comes to delivering issues. We reach out to them, we advocate for them to create something around some of these issues we're talking about. Like some of us here, we run civil organizations. And so to a large extent, you want to align with some corporate organizations so that they can find a way for you to get them into, for them to get you into their plan when it comes to providing resources. And so that's shared responsibility is a very key thing. And now let me move quickly to the civil society space. One part I want to mention because of time, I know network actually affected me. Yeah, yes, I'm rounding up now. Thank you. Yes, the civil society space. This part is also very key. Advocacy, I'll pick on the advocacy. Community mobilization, we are doing a whole lot when it comes to community mobilization because we need to keep talking. One strength that we have in civil society is the ability to mobilize, the ability to go where people are not willing to go. And I tell people, if the motivation for you running a civil society organization or running a not-for-profit is for money or making profit, you're in the wrong space. It is passion first. The passion you have for the work is one thing that will put you out on the field. And so if you are not passionate about this space, you cannot go far. If the motivation for you is funding, yes, I know we need money to do the job, but first the people, the profit for us in this space as civil society organization is the impact that we see in the lives of the people, is the community that's been affected positively. That's our own profit when it comes to working within this non-profit space as a civil society organization, fund, or whichever that you're on this particular platform. So it's important that our voices need to be amplified. Advocacy, when you're carrying out advocacy, you need to know how to do it in a way that is will deliver the required attention. So you're putting out your empathy out there and connecting with the people. It's a key factor for us when it comes to delivering our required agenda, especially on SDGs. So if you're not using the right time, you're not using the right language, you don't know how to connect with them at their level, it will be difficult for you. If you want to speak, go to a community where they don't even understand English and you go there and start speaking on the English, you will find it very difficult to connect. And that's why it's important that stakeholder management, stakeholder engagement is another factor that comes into play when we carry out our activity within the civil society space, especially as connecting the SDG. How to connect to the right stakeholder, who you need to talk to, how to speak the language, how to create a system that comes out like a win-win deal for them. Because most times when you go into any community, you want to do anything that is connecting the SDG, the first thing that is coming to their mind is, what is the need for me? What do I start to prepare? What is my gain? Nobody is thinking about the impact it's going to have on the community. And that's why for us as a civil society organization player, we're thinking we before I. The subject of we before I comes into play. And so I think putting all of this together will help us know how to amplify our voices when it comes to passing the right message at the community. So let me just stop here because of time. The last slide is together with every one of us here, we can achieve a sustainable well-being and productivity for Africans. We're talking about overall productivity. Everybody have a part to play in this business. The government, the private sector, the CSOs. Let's see ourselves as a team player. Let's see ourselves as a force. I call it a global force, a force for global good. For nobody, we're not running as a different entity. Let's see how we can come together and deliver the required result that is expected of us. And if we do this, I believe that everyone will be fine at last. Thank you so much for having me. And let me just take a pause here because of time. Thank you so much. I hand over to you, sir. God bless you.
Thank you very, very, very much, my brother, Dr. Alex, for that very, very insightful, assiduous presentation. Please, let's celebrate him. Let's celebrate Dr. Alex for that presentation. Thank you. Thank you. Do we have comments or questions? I know our first speaker is still very much with us. Do we have questions or comments? We are rounding up, and we apologize for taking extra minutes. We apologize. Comments, please, or questions? Yes, Dr. King.
All right, thank you so much. You know, I raised the question of funding initially. Do I see who to it? But then, you know, when we talk about mental health, sometimes our minds actually go into maybe those who have truly come down with mental health conditions, not mental health illness, because they're two different things. Okay. Now, I'm looking at our various organizations empowering the ordinary person out there is also part of one, creating mental health awareness, and again also raising up workforce, let me use that word, or able hands that can pass this message or even practice it. Okay, how have we broken down mental health practice to the barest minimum that even somebody who didn't go to any university or even any major school could still understand and implement when the need arises? Because even if we put all our population together, you may not still be at the very hinterland places where issues will occur. But if these people, for one reason or the other, have had opportunity of empowerment in terms of training, you know, maybe through workshops, seminars, you know, some online trainings and all, it will help to disseminate this information across the board so that anybody who finds himself wherever will be, to an extent, knowledgeable to do something. Yesterday, I presented a paper at Bayes University. They are currently running their career week in the university, as well as incorporating the commemoration of the United Nations Mental Health Day. You know, I handled the paper yesterday at the university on substance abuse and peddling among young people. And, you know, part of this, the presentation also had to deal with the issue of the mental health state of the students, okay? Both as a predisposing factor and again as a consequence. So whichever way we look at it, we try, whichever sphere we find ourselves to bring to bear the fact that mental health issue has come to be. There's another dimension I want to bring in here. That dimension is that we have had the psychiatrists, we have had the psychologists, we have had the counselor, and then the mental health is been there all the while. But we will not need to belabor ourselves that this aspect is currently taking the limelight. It was just only immediately after COVID that the British government officially created a master's degree, and all the people they admitted, I wrote the reference to one of those who participated. They paid them about £25,000. Now they were on scholarship and the government still paid them to take that master's degree program on mental health, meaning that it was not there before. In Nigeria, we don't have that currently. And that means too, and of course, just 2 years ago, I wrote a reference for somebody as a medical doctor who was now applying for master's degree at Johns Hopkins University, Maryland, US, to now take mental health, course for master's degree. So we should also understand that this dimension is growing worldwide, and it was COVID-19 that accentuated the whole thing. So to that extent, yeah, we will not kill ourselves, but we will still have to work hard. In our own sphere, I don't know which governments will officially introduce maybe a particular degree, work on mental health, just that. We have social work, all of them are intertwined one way or the other, but then mental health has distinguished itself, and that's how knowledge grows. So to that extent, I would rather want to also ask each of the organizations represented here in our various countries also to now begin to do something. We in the Association of Christian Counselors of Nigeria, maybe I'll send the convener, just a clip of a flyer, not the full flyer. Maybe he could, I don't have access, so he could fly it and then show us. We have a training that we handle. This one now we are targeting the Christians, both the clergy, ordained people. We are targeting Christian professionals. We are targeting Christian counselors. We are targeting health workers, and as many as we want to do care and counsel the Christian way. So it is a population we are targeting and focusing, so that even the interfacing they will have with whoever, let not the counseling session be mismanaged. Because once it is mismanaged, then you will begin to hear if what you have is heaven, I'd rather go to hell. It's just to tell you somebody's counseling session has been mismanaged. Maybe the ethics are not applied. So I
Thank
want
you very
us
much.
to implement
Thank
this.
you, Dr. King.
So much. All right, thanks.
Thank you very much, Dr. King. We take more comments and responses, questions or comments. Shamu, a very distinguished First Lady from Cameroon.
Thank you very much, Chair, and I'm so glad to be a part of this meeting. And I must confess that I'm doing two meetings at the same time. There's another one going on in Yaoundé at the General Hospital there. They are partnering with them for this still global symposium. And just to say that I'm Chiamo Seraphine from Cameroon, and I'm a lived and living experience. So I'm a biology teacher for more than 15 years, and I'm into this space because of my lived experience. So once more, I'm so glad. And from that perspective, when I see people like Dr. Zion pushing the agenda, it's really heartfelt because the suffering when you go through, you would never neglect or not put in your best in order to save a life. Because I contemplated suicide, and I'm so glad it didn't happen. And for the rest of my life, I want to take any action that can go to make someone change that decision of wanting to live, because their suffering is more than the fear of dying. So concerning all the discussions, I really, really see with many of them, with all of them, the fact that no one is safe until we are all safe, the fact that the social determinants are there that we must address, the fact that we the actions are what we really, really need, because these things have been existing from time immemorial, from the time of our forefathers. But what is happening is true, the COVID-19 came and so many things are happening. We are grateful for that. But again, if the world still doesn't understand that if we don't address these root causes, we are not going to get to those targets we are setting, for example, for NCDs. Because from this experience, I really want to look at the link between chronic stress or mental health and non-communicable diseases. I've participated in analyzing the WHO document on the high-level meeting on NCDs, and it's true that I am still to do more as far as the document is concerned. But I just want to bring to our knowledge that I don't know whether we all see the same with me. That, for example, we know that when people are so stressed, for example, they can develop high blood pressure, because in the community, people say, I was also glad when we are talking about using the common language that everyone in the community can understand. Because to me, mental health is not some big book. It's just those little things that sometimes people don't even think. People who are not aware, they would even think that you are not supposed to be worried because of this or that. So we need to simplify the language, and we try to exploit this link that, for example, the WHO and partners or member states that are trying to set targets for the NCDs. And again, the most of the targets are targeting the risk factors for NCDs, which are the obesity, the alcohol consumption or abuse, sedentary lifestyle, and cigarette smoking. Those are the 4 major risk factors. And when I go to look at the actions that are being taken, I'm seeing commercial determinants and all that. Again, I see a little bit of shift from acknowledging the fact that, for example, in the case of conflict, we know the link between conflict and mental health. If we are unable to address conflict situations in different countries, I think we shouldn't, our targets will not really be realistic if we don't consider that we are unable to address these conflicts. We are seeing that in many parts of the world, whether it's in Gaza, whether it's in Cameroon. We have been in conflict since 2016, and it's not ending. People are displaced. So I just wanted to highlight this link, that if we can begin to see that we will not meet our targets in many things around the world as far as health is concerned, and even development, because when you are not mentally well, the chronic stress, you cannot be productive. So I see mental health as at the base of everything we are doing in the society. So whether it is so complicated to address these social determinants, this basic poverty and all that, we shouldn't expect so much progress when it comes even to NCDs, not to talk of the mental health. So thank you.
Fantastic. Amazing, amazing. Chamo, thank you very much for that intervention. We must truly look at the social determinants. It's very important. All right, let's take Mr. Emeka. Let's take Mr. Emeka. Mr. Emeka, are you there? Mr. Emeka?
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, sir.
I guess I'm heard, just to be clear.
Yes,
if my voice
go
is
ahead,
okay.
sir.
Okay, thank you. Just two issues, two key issues. I mean, it's been a long meeting, and it's quite an exciting one. The energy in the meeting is quite encouraging. Thank you, Dr. Ame, for always pushing us on. Dr. Wallace, I want to thank you. Dr. Williams, I want to thank you also for coming on board, and the entire country reps that are here. But quick one. Chamo made a very key statement. She said that our language usage, our language pattern in this space is pretty on the high end. So, for example, each time when we say psychosis, we understand what it means. But when we are speaking to community and we keep using those language, communities don't care about the degrees we have. Communities want to care about if we are communicating with them. For example, if you say psychosis, if you want to do that word, because we're talking, my foundation is currently working with community health centers, and we're trying to demystify most medical languages that are used. Now, what we did in last encounter with them, to try to change some of these words when they are using it with community people. For example, psychosis is simply hearing or seeing things others can see. So we try to tell the doctor, the medical practitioners, the health workers there, the nurses, to learn to use these words so they can communicate, and the people will be able to respond correctly. So our language pattern will be very important. When we spoke last 2 weeks, we told them trauma. I said, look, these are big words. But when we are together as professionals, we can use them. But when we are dealing in community environment, when you talk about trauma response, you say her heart and mind are still shaking. You know, those simple words that they can respond to. For example, when you say mental disorder, instead of just using that word for community people and village people, you say his mind needs rest and care, just like a broken bone needs healing. So when you use those simple words, simplified words, you are able to communicate to them. So just to raise that flag that Shamo brought in, we are trying to change our grammar, the language pattern in this space. Sometimes it's too big. So that's one. Then the second part is, whilst that we look for policy reforms and all that, all of these things will take time. And of course, with our kind of different countries have different speed with which they respond to diverse kind of things. But using the Nigerian space, for example, where some of us belong, we know it's going to go through bureaucracy. While we still push the advocacy, we push all the known things that we should do as CSOs and people who advocate for mental health space. But while that is ongoing, we should begin to look at consortium. We should begin to look at exploring SDG 17 to the fullest. That's my only challenge in this space and in different spaces where I belong. For example, we just signed a deal with ATPM, and fortunately, one of our resource person had, our father is deep neck in tourism. And one of the things we did together, I realized that there's a nexus between tourism and mental health. So we are planning a very deep-seated meeting for next year, where, of course, Dr. Ami, I'm going to be involving you seriously in this, where we're going to create a nexus between tourism, well-being, and mental health. How that they connect. There are simple tools that we can use to assist community to come out of the deep quagmire of mental health challenges. Then there's this that I won't know, say the doctor or so. The last one, it should be the man that spoke from the Christian Foundation or something. I can't get his name. So he spoke that their focus is for the Christian space. That's perfect. Everybody has their space to go into. I will covet that. I would like to know more about the organization though, but I will covet that while trainings are going on in such organizations, they should also demystify the issue of demonizing, mental health challenges. Because most ministers of God, just to use that space, I don't want to antagonize anybody because I'm into that space. The first thing that comes to their minds is to demonize the person that has this issue. So when counseling, first approach of counseling comes from a demonizing angle, you will see that most times these people who are challenged, they lock up and they don't get through. I'm talking from a practical aspect because I run a safe facility and I see the nexus between the science, the faith-based operation, and then the deep-rooted aspect of love and compassion and a hearing ear that these folks that fall within this bracket found themselves. But I'll just leave it at this because we'll see have other spaces where we're going to be talking this issue. It has come to the fore by COVID or whatever, or by issue of chance, but this matter connects around all the space of human endeavor, mental health, connects around all the space of human endeavor. I like to repeat it again. And this is what we must be looking at. And we must be looking at also cheap accesses, using technology to drive this so that counseling, therapy, and all that can also run through mobile devices so that those in rural areas, without necessarily having enough funds, with just maybe a token, they can download an app or can use a toll-free line, and access those who can give them counseling. I'll just leave it here, and then possibly in other spaces we'll deal with this matter more.
Amazing. So we have received 3 series of additional presentations. All your comments they are more than this one is not just comments again.
Sorry, sir.
Mr. Emeka, Madam Chamo, and I think the person that led this long presentation is Dr. King. and Madam Chamo followed, and Mr. Emeka too followed. So I congratulate all of you for your presentation to us. Very, very, very
We are
important.
sorry, sir. We are sorry, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I beg, sorry.
No, it's very okay. I'm sure we all took some things out of those presentations. Thank you very much for sharing. I just wish we can always have fora like these, at least even if it's going to be bi-monthly, like we run our accelerator advocacy program, and then we just have conversations. People share their experiences and talk, and it's really, cross fertilization of ideas and experiences. You can take home quite a lot, from what you might even be getting from four wall of schools. Thank you very much, everybody, for your time. Thank you, Dr. Alex, for your presentation. Thank you, Dr. Orisewiyemi. Thank you very much for your presentation. I love your slides. Thank you very much. I think I already mentioned that.
Just call her Dr. Williams. That's all.
Williams. Don't worry. Miss Emeka, don't embarrass me. Don't you must tell everybody that I didn't pronounce the name very well. She already knows that me and her had agreement beginning of this.
So that she will not start an advocacy against you.
I think she has already given him the permission.
Yes, I had assigned consent earlier. Thank you very much, everybody. I want to tell you sincerely, we are most grateful, particularly for your share of time and participating in this webinar. We are really, really grateful. We want to thank you. And also in absentia, we want to thank our distinguished Grand Patron, Her Excellency Senator Dr. Biango, and also Benigo Harry. We also want to acknowledge that we will be sharing some of the thoughts we have expressed in this webinar, and some of the very important facts and fruits we have shared here. We will be taking part of them to share on social media. Please feel free to drop your social media handle if you are willing to be tagged. Please drop your social media handle. We will follow, we will tag you, we will follow you, and also please do well to follow us back. I'm dropping our website. For those of you who are not yet members of AMHROA, or you are already and desire to also invite some of your friends, registration is free. Please just click on the website and just register. Do we have my brother from Eric from Liberia? Please, are you still on the call? Okay, maybe he's dropped. Okay. He also made some very important comments, some questions, but we will keep pushing and seeing how.
Yes, I'm.
Oh, thank you. So I wanted you to please respond to. I know you asked the question. What do you think?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Are you getting me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Eric, we can hear you. Can you give?
Come of the question. I'm not getting.
In closing, okay. Yeah, I'm putting your question back to you. In closing, what can you say in terms of the issue of the already existing tools that we are using for assessment or to deploy care in Africa that are not culturally within the context of Africans? What do you think is the detriment of faith, and how can we resolve this?
Yeah, so thank you for the question. Currently in Liberia, we one of the countries that have integrated the image gap into primary health care. And what we observe that some of the conditions that is in the image gap that is more specific to the DSM-5, we sometimes have difficulties in making diagnosis at the community level because it is not been seen as a condition that suit our community that we live in. What I am saying is we have common condition in Liberia that we call OPMO. And OPMO is sometimes presents symptoms like depression, symptoms like anxiety. So it's one of the ways that we adapt in our own cultural setting to identify someone with depression or anxiety disorder. So by us as a continent contextualizing the DSM-5, I believe that it will help us to make a diagnosis easy for people who will be at the primary healthcare level, where we have most of our patients accessing healthcare, rather than would be difficult for us to clarify at the primary healthcare level. So if we as a continent identify what is common in our environment that resemble depression, we can say, okay, for Africa, we say OPMO is more of depression. Then we will not struggle in making diagnosis of depression at the community level, because most of our patients are in the community. Because of that confusion, they sometimes don't receive the adequate care or quality care they have to receive at the primary healthcare level, because clinicians are sticking to depression and anxiety. So forming or identifying a idiom or a specific terminology that would describe depression in an African setting will help us to have data that we can report for mental health condition in African region. That was just my point.
Great. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that light. And this is also now calling for more local data, just like Aaron did mention, because these are the only things that can help us propel some facts that our professionals can use in the field to be able to like distinguish between some of the conditions, some of the local conditions that are impacting or maybe affecting some of the locals vis-a-vis some of the mental health illnesses. So thank you very much for sharing that.
So with that, like in Liberia, we have around 10 psychiatrists, and bulk of them are situated at the referral hospital in the urban area. And as a country, we have utilized the MH gap to roll out to build primary healthcare worker skills in identifying, diagnosing, and managing common mental health conditions. But with that, we still don't see the accuracy in data. We still see most of these people going to traditional healers, religious leaders, because of this common idiom that attached to their mental health condition to be OPMO. So they feel that OPMO is not more of a medical or mental health condition, but it's something that has been attributed to some spiritual link that they move to seek care to traditionalist or religious person. But the symptoms of depression, you must see it in that person. The symptoms of anxiety, you will see it in that person. But because of the belief system, you will not have them coming to the facility for care.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, we might also be looking at for comorbidity of some of these conditions and other diseases. But thank you very much for sharing this very important reality in our beloved country, Liberia. We can take just one more. If the person can make it within 30 seconds, we can take one more intervention as we prepare to close. Any intervention? I can see our Vice President Diaspora, Dr. Banjo. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you for being on the call on this webinar. Our sister from Lesotho, thank you for staying on. Thank you, Madam Nancy. Thank
It's
you.
a pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Flora, thank you very much. Is there anybody I haven't mentioned? Because you guys are truly amazing. You have stayed up until now. I must acknowledge everybody. Thank you very much, Mr. Nex. Thank you for your support. Who else? Samson Bamidele, thank you. Thank you. My brother Richard, thank you for joining. So let me apologize that we've taken 31 minutes of your time extra. I really apologize, but it has been a very wonderful interactive session. We also want to thank the distinguished senator for making her keynote address. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Please drop your social media handle, or let me drop my phone number, my WhatsApp number. Please, you can reach out to me directly. If you have not registered yet with us, please feel free to just click on our website and just hit on the membership registration. We want all of you, like my sister from Luceto. We want you guys to also sign up. And this is my WhatsApp number. Please, I can be reached directly. Okay, please, you can just put +234 if you're going to be dialing or maybe send a message from outside Nigeria. Please put through 2 + 234, right? Yeah, 234, right? Please. Okay. We also have some documents being shared by Dr. King. There's a counseling training flyer also. It's also there. Please let's download it. If you have questions, please let us know. I want to thank you especially everyone for your time. And it's my prayer that again, we will reconvene in less than 2 months for our accelerator advocacy program, where we'll be having all of the country representatives leading some engagement around building capacity to be able to deliver more in all of our works in our different countries. Until we meet, please remember that we're already planning for our next year conference. It's going to be either in Lusaka in Zambia or in Liberia. So please just keep planning and let's keep driving heartily. God bless you all. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Zion, and everyone.
Thank
For
you.
such an amazing program. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's really
It's been an
amazing.
educative and informative. Thank you. God bless everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good to see you,
Bye.
Madam Nancy. Madam
All
Banjo,
right.
thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
Dr. King, thank you very much.
I really
Thank you.
appreciate this. I just heard about this just last night.
Hey,
You won't
yeah.
believe it, but it's really quite interesting. I'm just on the website to register now.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Zah.
Pharmacist Joseph, my elder brother, you didn't allow me hear your voice since. You didn't allow me hear your voice since. You allowed me. You abandoned me.
I'm under the weather. I'm under the weather. I'm not okay.
Oh, there. It's well with
But
you, sir.
I was in the office with Aaron and Eric.
Oh, great. Thank you so much for making it. Thank you so much for your support.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Madam Chamu?
Sign, thank you too for the meeting.
Oh, distinguished Aaron. Distinguished Aaron, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate the good work.
Well, don't forget to we might be coming to Liberia. Or be talking to your director and your minister. We're coming to Liberia, May 2020.
Okay, that'll be great.
Good.
Who I can take it over the counter.
Yes, when I come to town, you will take me around your community. I will be able to see all the good people.
Yeah, that would be great.
Very good, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Madam Chamu. Madam Chamu. Can you hear me? Oh, you have continued your other meeting. Your mic is muted.
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Yes, sir, the meeting is going on. I'll be presenting later. I'll be talking on community and intercultural approach to well-being.
Oh, great. Let me take you a picture. I hope you took a picture. All the people that spoke, we want to make sure they have
No, sir, I didn't take. I don't know how to screenshot with my laptop. I don't know how to do it.
Okay, don't worry. Let me take you from here so that you can, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I will share.
Thank you so much, sir.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
Well done.
We'll
Have a
post,
very
we'll post
lovely.
it as feedback.
Yes, I remember the video you did. There was a video you did, I think that was last 2 years or 3 years now, in one of our events. The video went viral on Facebook. I say you are a
Yes,
celebrity.
sir. Yes, sir. Many people watched.
Yes, I saw that. I saw that.
Meanwhile, it was an amateur video.
No, but it was very nice. Very nice.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
So you
Best
see that
wishes.
in the video, we're still talking about the provision of good roads, because specifically where I come from, we are having challenges because of roads. People, the soil is fertile, even though they are using a lot of fertilizers, but they harvest and we do more imperishables. There are no roads to transport these perishables to town. So despite all the investment into it, with the chemicals to spray, insecticides and all that, they still don't have the road to transport this to towns. So what these buyer and sellers do is that they use the pretext of the road and they buy very cheap. So the farmers, they have no choice than to sell, because if you don't sell, the Irish potatoes will get bad, the cabbage, the carrot will get bad. People borrow from the credit union and they invest in the farm. The children are displaced in town because of the conflict. They are unable to meet up with the needs in town. So they have to pay back money to the credit union. So how will you help them? They are having sleepless nights. And that is how the chain continues. So if we don't address this, we shouldn't set targets that will definitely begin to extend. 2030 is coming, and we are not really saying that. We are saying that will likely extend again. So we need to change the approach. And no matter how complicated, it's true, to address social determinants is very complex. But
I truly agree.
authorities need to know that, like their famous statement of "no one is safe until we are all safe." That if people are not safe from this suffering, that's how the chain will continue, the conflict, because of socio-political tensions and so many other things that will come after that. The corruption, the
I totally
bribery.
agree with you. I agree with you. But we'll keep driving and hoping there will be change. Let's keep don't give up. Keep driving. We're very hopeful that there'll be a change.
Why practicing self-care, like someone mentioned, that in the civil society world, if you are not careful, you instead become the patient. Especially from burnout.
That's true. Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
We need to look out for ourselves also. Our personal well-being, very important.
Yes, sir.
Very important. All right, dear.
I really admire your energy, sir, and I'm glad to have met you, to know you, and that together we're working for Africa and the globe for sure.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chamo. Thank you for being very supportive also. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Have the best section, best presentation, and put up a very good smile like this also when you are presenting.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right. Bye. Thank you, Dr. King. Flora, where are you joining from? Where did you join from, please, Flora? Flora, are you still there?
Hello, yes, I'm from Kenya.
Oh, from Kenya.
Yeah.
Oh, great, great. Please
Yeah.
take my number, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure you have registered yet on AMHROA. Please take my number and then go to the website. Or if you have any concerns, please send me a WhatsApp message on my number, and we'll talk. Let's
Okay.
take it up from there.
Okay, thank you.
Well done, well done. Are you in Nairobi?
Yes, Nairobi, yes.
Oh, great. I've been to Nairobi about 3 times. We went to somewhere in Navashda, then Nairobi
Naivasha.
Central. Yes.
Naivasha, yeah, okay.
They took me there. We spent 2 weeks. We're seeing the hippopotamus.
Oh. Lake Naivasha, you went to the lake, yeah?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
You have a very good resort there.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Please,
Welcome again.
I'll be, yes, I will surely come again. Please drop a message. Let's connect on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Flora. Mullins, where are you joining from? Mullins, can you hear me? Are you also joining? Did you join from Kenya? Okay, I'm not sure we still have Mullins, but his name is totally new. I wish. Okay, we'll find a way to reach him or her. Mullins. But Flora, do you know Mullins?
No.
Okay, but I'm sure you will also help me welcome your friends to join us, huh?
Okay.
Please, we have over 20 members from Kenya.
Oh.
Hmm.
Okay, I'll join in and see what it's all about.
Yes, please. Please just, did you see the website? AMHROA,
No.
www.amhroa. Just AMHROA.org.
Okay.
AMHR.
Okay.
Yeah, AMHROA.
Okay.
Yes, that's the website. Please just check, and then you will see the membership link. Just click on it and just register.
Okay. Thank you.
Well done. Have a very lovely day. God bless you. All right, bye everyone. Thank you for your time on 2025 World Mental Health Day webinar, brought to you by the Association of Mental Health Reform Organizations in Africa, popularly known as AMHROA.